Welcome to Lost Without Japan, a travel podcast about the life-changing experiences of exploring Japan and those moments we would be lost without. For your listening pleasure, allow me to introduce your very own Kanko Guido, Michael.
Welcome to this week's episode of Lost Without Japan, a podcast based on Japan and your Lost Without moments. I am your director of travel for TKIC Studio Productions, and I'm coming to you with positive thoughts and excitement for your next journey to Japan and his return later this year. Thank you for giving me a bit of your time today. I hope this podcast or video cast, depending on how you're taking in today's episode, finds you in a good place or on the path to a better one. We can all use a beacon like this one to help guide us during these times, and I hope that this show and Japan will be that for you. If you're new to the podcast or video cast, welcome. If you're returning once more to Lost Without Japan, thank you again for your time and returning once more. As always, the advertising I include with my shows is done for free and is meant to help continue to promote the friends of the show who we have interviewed in the past. As our group departs today for your trip, please double check that you have your luggage, your passport, and phone before we depart today. You have made it. Today's the day you continue your journey throughout Japan, so go ahead. Take a few deep breaths and come along with your tour group as we ensure your journey today is as incredible as ever, whether it's your first trip or return trip to this awe-inspiring country. Remember, you can always reach out to the show at lostwithoutjapan@gmail.com or at lostwithoutjapan on Instagram. If I can be of any assistance or answer any questions, whether it's before your trip, during your trip, after, whatever, don't hesitate. As always, today's timestamp can be found in our show notes for today's episode, where if you'd like to, you can just skip right to our talk on Kusatsu's day trip activities in Gunma Prefecture near Tokyo. In that same spot, you can also find the link for our show's Google document with resources and information on Japan and links to all past episodes in the description of today's show. Before our day trip on Kusatsu, two quick things. Number one, sorry for the show getting a bit out of the order and our Good Times episode coming out when it should have been this episode. But I teach art for a reason, my friends, at times, and getting those numbers out of order in Lipson ended up resulting in our show being a little bit out of order. Hope you can forgive me. And over 3 years, hey, it was bound to happen. But we aren't cutting anything out. We're not getting rid of any of the different episodes you've gone to accept or expect from us. So again, thank you. Looking forward to talking Kusatsu today. But I want to give a quick shout out to one of our past guests, Nyold Private House, where you can have the Shogun experience for a fully immersive getaway in the mountains of Nara, or just an intimate, bespoke lunch. Nyold Private House has got you covered. Return to Edo periods, dress up as a samurai, fight off ninjas in a one-of-a-kind, custom design, private experience. You can even have a movie of yourself, like doing all of the different battles and things. So check out their websites, nyold.co.jp or Instagram at nyold.jp to learn more. For today's trip episode, you can either take it in the podcast form if you're listening to it right now, or on our YouTube channel as a video, allowing you to see firsthand what we're talking about today. During my talk along specific spots in Kusatsu, I will screen share what I'm discussing with you. That, as well as our Google Maps for today's show, will help provide you with a great way to help you decide what you'd like to do on your next trip. For those of you on Patreon, I'll include the doc we used for today's episode, as well as links to locations we've talked about, in an all-in-one spot with this document for your next trip. For those looking to blend a relaxing time, natural beauty, and a feeling of genuinely being immersed in Japan's culture, Kusatsu can either be a day or multi-day trip. Whether that's escaping Tokyo or just a destination on your next trip, you honestly can't go wrong, regardless of the time of year you choose to visit. Kusatsu's history goes back quite a bit, with the earliest recorded history of the area going back to around 710 to 794, where records talk about this hot spring of the area, its healing properties, which will come up again later, and some meaning behind the town and its name in these notes and things that you can find in the past. The town's name refers to dew that you would see on grass. And it just accented this whole area's just connection to nature and water. In around 794 to 1333, the area really began to take off as a destination for samurai and nobility. Just think about that. You're able to go to a place that at one point in history was kind of reserved for those of nobility. You can do that you yourself today. Be your own king, queen, whatever you want to be. But if you're looking to take advantage of the benefits of the onsen, they would come here to recuperate and relax. And during the Edo period, the practice of umami originated at that point in time, which introduced a large wooden paddle to help cool the water before people entered. This also helped make sure that the minerals in the water were distributed evenly, and you can still see that practice in effect today, as the area is focused on celebrating and retaining as much of its cultural heritage as it can. The reputation for the area further took off and continued to keep growing a lot through 1868 to 1912, when it began to garner international attention. And that's some attribute this to the fact that this was due to Dr. Erwin von Bales, who helped introduce Western medicine to Japan. And while he was there trying to introduce Western medicine, he began to see that this onsen area in particular and its hot springs had a lot of healing properties to them, and actually began to recommend them to his patients. So, come halfway around the world to preach what you know, and then find some things there that can trump even that. So this is genuinely one of Japan's premier onsen experiences. And even if it is not as well known as a lot of the golden routes that people may visit when they find themselves visiting Japan, it is very much worth your time. Although I've been to an onsen before in my travels to Japan, this day trip speaks to me on two different levels. Now, one of them is if you're someone who has never been to an onsen before, this is a must experience for you. And even if you are someone who's been before, this is going to take that experience up to another level. And when you're traveling around Japan, it's really important to add on days that aren't necessarily to see something or experience something as much as it is to take care of yourself. And if you can do that while also creating those memories and having an amazing experience, all the better for it. Schedule those rest days. This could at least be one of those days for you. And Kusatsu is something for everyone, regardless of time of year, and winter activities are a huge thing to this location as well. So, with that being said, it's about a 2.5 hour drive from Tokyo, or you can go through transportation to take you to the Kusatsu. And let me share this with you here one second, my friends. The Kusatsu Hot Spring Bus Terminal. I'll just show a quick pictures of that real quick, just so that you can see. This is going to be a drop-off point. As you can see, the buses right here. 4 buses, my friends, along with some tourist information spots, the obligatory vending machine, and so on. But just wanted to kind of show this to you so you could be aware of what you're looking for that. But like I said, you can take advantage of a bus, which is the cheapest option. And you can schedule that through highwaybus.com or tokyobus.co.jp. And if you choose to take one of the bus options, you're looking at being on a bus for around 4 to 5 hours, 4 to 3, like there's some range to it, 3 to 5, just depends on how many stops that you have. And it'll cost around $27. 3 hours being the $20 option, which is an express bus from Tokyo. 4 hours being around $27, but that's really not much money to get you from here nor there. But I'd kind of stop you. If that was the only option to get out to this spot, like, go for it, right? Do what you've got to do. But I would really recommend leaving Tokyo Station, instead utilizing a train, the Shinkansen, and you're going to get there about around an hour and a half, depending on number of stops. And this is going to be for around, currently with the rates, around $35 to $45. Of course, that can go up or down, most likely up, depending on those rates. But an hour and a half for, even if you go with the $45 for like $20 more, yeah, I'll take that. More time for you to do what you want to do when you get there. But again, if you're trying to be price conscious, $20 to get you from Tokyo to there is not much. $40 total round trip. It really opens up some things that you may not think are available to you. Now, renting a car is also an option for you. When you visit Japan, take advantage of that international license we've talked about before, and it will help you get the most out of this area. Don't forget to, look into all those different things, have everything available for you, and just do some prior research to make sure that the rental agency you're going to at least has some sort of mention of English or English support. And just, do your homework ahead of time. Now, don't forget to take that insurance, number one. But number two, luckily, there are a ton of car rental options in Tokyo. Who'd have thought, large city. But it's really one that's going to be more used to foreigners. And it's really what I would recommend for you doing so. Please don't go out to Kusatsu and start looking for your rental car. I can understand some not wanting to drive in Tokyo or from Tokyo, and looking to cut that down, especially if you're not used to doing that. But I would really say, because there's only one option that seems to be usable in Kusatsu, and let me pull that up for you right now. And that is the JR Eki Rent Car Co. in Kusatsu. This is their hot spring sales office. But there are some drawbacks to that. Number one, it's the only one, right? And if you show up and they don't have cars available for you to rent, you don't have that. Or let's say you're looking for something of a certain size, your options are going to be limited. So this is more something I would say like last minute, you're there. I took the train to go out and I thought everything was going to be in this main area that I wanted to do, but the more I'm there, I decided to stay a couple extra days. Okay, I'm going to look into renting a car. Okay. That's mainly why I'm giving you this as an option. It's a 1-minute stop from our bus stop that we talked about just a moment ago. But again, you're most likely needing some sort of level of Japanese to have this happen. Okay. And this location has been known in the past, if weather is poor, let's say winter, and they're expecting a storm or conditions aren't great, even if they have cars, they've been known not to rent them to avoid having them be in accidents. So, take all that, do what you need to do for yourself, but don't bank on them. Before I like to head out in general in Japan, I love to grab snacks. You're going to be doing a ton of walking, and I like just having an option of if I end up in an area and everything is more expensive than what I'm looking to, just having something to snack on. Or maybe I'm just thinking, I want this meal later on tonight. And I'm really thinking about that. Just snack on some things during the day. Hit up your local convenience store. Okay. And there are quite a few. In this case, the 7-Eleven is right near us. Let me share that as well. It's right near our lodging. It is a 7-Eleven. It is what you think it is. Snacks and all that are there. Again, if you're on video, this is what it looks like. This is what you'll see when you get there. I don't think it's going to catch anybody off guard, for that. But I would recommend it for our day trip. Save money, spend it on other things. You're going to have some options later on. Maybe it's going to be that private onsen that you're going to. Being in a tourist area for Japan, even if it may not be well known overseas, as in any tourist area around the world, you're going to spend more money, right? You know that going into it. It's going to be more for you to eat. It's going to be more for your lodging. Again, try to book these things out as far as you can. Look at those reviews. See if they have what you want. But, like I said, after arriving our group today at that Kusatsu Hot Spring bus terminal, take that rental car, bus, shuttle provided by your lodging. And the first option that we're going to talk about for lodging today is basically a 20-minute walk from our bus stop. And for me, my friends, this first lodging, let me pull this up for you. Kusatsu Now Resort Hotel is the type of experience if you are looking to go somewhere and have your lodging where you're staying at, right? So like you're wanting to stay at this resort, you're staying on the grounds, you're spending time in your room, you're taking advantage of these like private onsen, you're taking advantage of these, expensive, hoity-toity restaurants, which are amazing, don't get me wrong, then this is for you. Right? Like, I don't want to mess around with the town if this is what you're thinking about, right now. I just want to go somewhere, have great customer service, be spoiled. I'm not concerned about the money that I'm spending right now. I've come to Japan. This is my trip of a lifetime. I'm just going to maximize my experience. And Mike, I don't want to, walk around a bunch of different places to do what I want to do. This is for you. And if you can see, up here right now in our recording, that November, end of November time is around $200 for lodging. And I know that when I looked earlier today, it was like $160. So something to look into, but that is something that you could do and take advantage of the area. And you're going to find other people that are there for that. When I had looked, even prior to that, rooms were around $250 a night for two people, $200 for one. So again, there's been fluctuation even when I was doing this research over time to bring this episode to you. When I went out to June, price jumped up to be $300. When I started looking at deluxe room options, that went upwards of $500. And just one word to the wise, my friends, if you're going to try to book through Google, when you do that search, remove standard double room from your search when you hit their site, and you will see quite a few like rooms available to you. But for whatever reason, if you just have that double room search going, there's like nothing, or like one type of room is the only thing that you see. I don't know why it's that way. But like I said, this is definitely here, and it could be, that stop for you to take advantage of like this private onsen that you can go to. Let me pull this up for you real quick and share this tab, my friends. Let me show you real quick. This is like the different rooms and things that are here. Look at this, my friends, this private onsen. It is amazing. These baths, let me tell you, are like tippy top of my list. I've wanted to do something like this, and my onsen that I went to was with a group. So it was just larger, right? It's kind of like that typical, onsen experience that you have. But these private ones that are here, my gosh. And pricing is really not bad. especially with conversion rates right now. But you can buy like a pass here for a certain amount. It's around like, that can like save you some money if you're looking to take advantage of this. But you could look at right now where it's like 45 minutes, 3,520 yen. If it's during holidays, that price goes up another 1,000 yen or so. So just something to be aware of. If you're going during a holiday time, these are things that you have to look at. But these things that are here, oh my gosh, they're open 24 hours a day. But the drawback is this. It could be a plus or a minus depending on how you look at it. No one can book it ahead of you. It's going to be booked when you check in, which could be a plus or a minus depending on when you arrive. So no advance booking for the private onsens are accepted that are separate from some of the packages they offer where you can book everything all together. There is an onsen and room package deal that's around $750 a night. So like if you're really looking to take advantage of that healing properties and that onsen and have that be your experience, like go for it. If I wanted to hang out, for a night doing that, kudos to you. Kudos to whoever you go with, or yourself, just by yourself. It starts around, like I said, 3,520 yen, goes up to 7,040 depending on length of time. It's open to all who stay, and they genuinely would be the highlight of any visit, outdoors, indoors. They have restaurants that are on site with buffets, Japanese, Chinese, French cuisine. If you choose a package that is a room plus meals, you actually don't need to make a reservation. That is a part of your package. They'll accommodate you. They'll take it. But please know, my friends, that pricing for these are not cheap. It's 3,000 for a breakfast buffet for each adult. It's 2,000 for each child. So, the dinner buffet is around 7,000 yen, or 8,000 on weekend for adults, with kids being 3,000 yen each. So like one adult, one kid, 10,000 yen, you're looking around $100 without doing conversion rates, things there. The chef choice at the French restaurant is going to be around 12,000 yen per person. Currently, this spot is going through some renovations. So when booking, I would make sure that if I'm doing this and looking for this to be my all-inclusive one thing, that it is everything I want it to be, and I want to make sure that the room I was staying in was renovated. So when it's fully renovated and taken care of, I'd have no reservations about making a reservation here. And even before that, again, as long as my room has been renovated, good to go. The lodging I recommend for most travelers, though, is different than that one. Like I said, that experience is I want to stay there. This is my experience. This is for those of you that actually are looking to make some exploration of Kusatsu, this area, to be a priority in what you're doing. You still have the onsen, you still have things that are here, but you just have more activities, more restaurants, some more budget dining options. You're near 7-Elevens, you're near Lawson's, you're near the bus terminal. All of these things that are here. Pricing is around $200 a night. Let me pull up Cane Midori for us here real quick so you can see that. I love this location. Again, there's some private onsens. I love how it looks. Outside, not much to look at, but the inside more than makes up for that. Again, some amazing experiences. Right now is around $184. It was $200 when I looked at it last. So maybe pricing's dropping. Maybe they're looking to fill some. Again, pretty amazing. They have that private onsen experience, $200 for around 2 people for the room, and then around 3,000 yen for 45 minutes per person. I'm totally down for that. I loved hearing the reviews that there were limited Japanese. If you went in with limited Japanese, my friends, and just tried like some greetings and some basic things, that really goes a long way with staff. And I'd say goes a long way with most people in Japan. Even if it's saying your name, even if it's saying, sorry, I don't speak Japanese, like whatever you can do, it goes a long way with them in particular and just makes them go even further than they already do. And it's great. This location is 6 minutes from the city center, opens up so many different things for you, regardless of if you rent a car or not, which is another reason I picked this spot for you. With it being one of the oldest lodging in this onsen resort town, it's going to offer some great memories for you with some unique designs for rooms, the public baths, detached baths, this Japanese style dining hall, a second dining hall, banquet halls, and all those different things. Seating, though, is limited. So when you book your lodging, unlike our previous place we talked about, I said you could not, make reservations ahead of time. I mean, unless you went with that package, you can at time of booking say, "Hey, Thursday, I want to take advantage of this French restaurant or whatever it is." So make that reservation when you do your booking to make sure what you have. Don't wait till you arrive. Okay. They also do offer shuttles from the Kusatsu Onsen bus terminal, but again, have a backup ready to go if that's renting a car or just walking, because they have to have somebody available to get you. And if they don't, they can't. So don't expect, be happy if it happens. And if it doesn't, it's okay. Just roll with it. Our starting point for today reminds me of that previous talk that I had with Sam when we were talking about the Mexican restaurant in Kyoto during our day trip talk. And, it's one of those things like people say, if you're looking for something, you'll find it. And if you're not looking for something, you won't find it. And I know that that's like, duh, Mike, but I don't know if it's because I haven't been looking for bagels or if this is really truly unique, but I have to think it's unique because I love bread. I notice bakeries, right? So I would think that I would notice bagels as well. So finding Lucky Bagel for me is just so cool. I love all that they offer. I love the pictures. I love the sandwiches. I love the bread and its little Lucky Bagel mark. I love the sets. I love the pricing. I just love everything about this. The menu is around 300 yen per bagel, 750 yen for a bagel with topping and a coffee, tea, or juice, all hot, at no additional cost to you, those drinks, because it's a set. Or if you'd like iced coffee, it's 100 yen more. I don't know, maybe the ice is expensive. But it's 100 yen more. They are open from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. every day, except for Wednesday and Thursday, with hours that vary during holidays. If you visit before January, there are some constructions going on outside the shop. It's outside a bunch of shops, but they are indeed open and will help make sure that your day starts off fabulously. I love their website. I'm going to show you real quick because you can check it out ahead of time. That's why you come to me to get all the cool stuff, right? Things that you don't miss when you're going to go through yourself. Look at this, my friends. All these different bagel sandwiches, which you can add on them. It's in English and Japanese. There's all sorts of things. Just, oh my gosh. Here's all the things. Again, English and Japanese. Fresh apple tea. I'm down. Again, talking about the good morning sets. Please, when you have this, send me an email and say thanks, Mike. So cool. I love it. I know it's not your Japanese start to the day, but I think it would start any day fabulously for under 10,000 yen. There are limited seating, but maybe it's just my reduced carb diet that I'm on. But this looks truly amazing. Now, for those of you that are like, Mike, I'm going to Japan, right? So I want to have something more than a bagel that I can have back at home. But I will tell you, food that is there is different, my friends. Even if you have pizza at home, if you have bagels at home, if you have bread at home, experience it. Go to your McDonald's, go to KFC. It is different. I promise you, it's worth your time. But I understand those of you that are like, Mike, I want like a legit what I could expect for a Japanese breakfast. And for you, my friends, I have you as well, Yamairo. And Yamairo, I'm going to share with you as well, is a breakfast restaurant and emphasis on restaurant. Fish, eggs, sausage, kind of a spread of things that are here. More of your unique, you got your soups, you have your rice, you have your salads, you have a bunch of different things that are here. And if you look close, you see your yen, you see, some menus and things that you could kind of zoom in, try to do some Google Translate with. You have your thick bread. There's the outside of the building. unique. And it's going to be definitely more money, but it's something that I could probably do once if I was expecting not to eat for a while for the rest of the day. But it is open at 8:30 a.m. Till noon. But I would not arrive and expect to order any later than 11 a.m. I'd go before that because then they're going to avoid taking orders because they're about to close. So that's the same for a lot of them. A lot of restaurants, at least 30 minutes prior to closing, will stop taking orders. So don't be that person, my friends. The option, a dining option with you is going to run around 1,000 to 2,000 yen per person. Again, not a cheaper option, but still a very cool one. The salmon set is going to be around 1,900 yen and has a billion rave reviews for it. So take it in. One thing to note, though, that this shop is on the second floor of the establishment. And one really cool thing that I love about this is that there are some unique options that kind of make it stand out even more. But one quick thing when you go, expect to see people waiting, expect to see people waiting in the stairway or outside. There's a super limited space to wait inside the restaurant. So get there early, my friend, before it opens so that you, at least 30 minutes before, can be hopefully part of that first group that gets you in, or at least in that waiting area, right? One other cool thing is that if you are having one of their herbal teas, this is so cool. Let me pull this, things up here. If you have one of the herbal teas that are here, you are going to be grabbing your own saucer. If you're watching the video version, it's right there. There are your teas to choose from. How cool is that? Like, you have so many different options. You choose your drink. Come on. So if you want a bigger meal in Japan, you can even order the Western set, which is around 1,500 yen, which is going to come with a lot of food. All of these kind of come with a lot of food, but this is like, again, here are the different sets and things that you can see. This one, like, you have an egg, you have some fish, you have some others, that thick slice of bread, on our other one. So again, take what you're going to take, but what a unique kind of add on to one of your days. Again, I don't know that you could do it every morning, but it's great. So take that in. Now that we're fully caffeinated and ready to go for our day, we're going to head off to kind of our first activity here. Let me share this tab for you. And that is Mount Kusatsu Shirane. And it's going to make you feel like you're in a totally different world. Now, you can use your rented car or board a bus prepared, to take you there as well. The summit, when you are able to view it, is going to give you a view of a 3-crater lake that's currently closed due to an increased threat of an eruption. It is still something I want to include, though, because that threat's going to pass eventually, right? You're going to be able to return once more, and it's going to give you, like I said, a sensation of being on a totally different planet and something unique, not just in Japan. If you're driving, it's going to take you 25 minutes to get there, get to a parking spot to begin your hike to it. If you utilize a bus, you're going to have a little bit more walking to do, my friends. It's going to be about 30 minutes of walking, or 25 after you end up taking that bus ride. So you still have some walking to get where you need to. One thing to take into note is some people might want to try to do this and also do the monkey park. Why not, right? Your vacation. But if you want to take advantage of the express bus, it will not stop at the monkey park. So Snow Monkey Park, if that's part of what you're looking to do, don't do the express bus. This is going to be a very touristy, high cost area when you're out there. There's not really much of anything there, so they can charge more. It costs more to get what you're getting. They're going to be smaller servings if you do order something, even for Japan. So just take that into effect. And before I'd head out there, I'd actually start checking weather apps. Is it foggy? Is it whatever that might dampen my time? And if you are going to be driving, be comfortable with steep and windy roads. And if you're not, do that bus, my friends. As with any volcanic area, you can expect to smell strong sulfur smells coming from the cracks in the ground. And you find yourself out here, and coming across and it's closed and you weren't aware of it, and you come across this episode or these notes, you can still go to Shibu Pass to Mount Yokota and you can get some locally flavored soft serve, all while taking in the views of the Northern Alps. And that might be something we do for a future day trip episode. Now, our following location could end up being your entire stay with all of the things that are here. And it is a park. And it is free, my friends. A park that is free and open quite a bit. Did I hear you, Mike? Did I hear you? It's got to be something cheesy. No, my friends. It looks fantastic. It really does. It is probably, just by looks of this, larger than what I would think it is. So let me just back up a second here. With this area, it is called Sayonakara Park. It is kid friendly. It's a place to go hike. It's a place to just get out for a bit. And, from your lodging, and it's a 10-minute walk from Kane Midori. And if you're looking to avoid that walk, you can always ask your lodging to help set you up with a taxi for one of the ways and maybe set up a return time for you as well. If you drive, you can park in the parking lot 1, Tengunyama parking lot 1, which I bookmarked for you for free. Please make sure to grab your own personal towel and a bag to bring things back in. That could be like a waterproof bag, comfy shoes, maybe at least one change of socks. You'll see why in a moment, as there are numerous foot baths and benches and paths that you can enjoy leisurely on your way to some open air onsen further in the park. During winter, it is still open, but I would not arrive there first thing. I would give them some time to clear off the paths. It's not a huge park, but it's going to provide you with plenty of memories. The foot baths can also be enjoyed for no additional cost. The water is going to be hotter than you'd expect, so check it out before sticking your entire foot or feet in it. Numerous families say they enjoy the pass, and they also do so as a path to walk their dogs. So it's a plus for me, but it may not be for everyone, as some people mentioned not being a fan of larger dogs. There is a bathroom, but at the moment it's under construction. So just look into that before you go. Make sure your shoes that you bring, have some tread on them, as the stones can be wet and extremely slippery. As I said, it is free, but the larger onsen that is there nearby is not. But the area at night looks amazing. So if it is lit up at night when you go, take advantage of it. With our first adventure out of the way, it's now to talk about some more dining options. And the first one that we're going to talk about, I'm going to share our tab again, is Torihiko. I can show some pictures here too. Japanese menu, some pictures, some not. So get that Google Translate downloaded already for you. Just make it sure you're ready to go. But it looks well worth its time. It's a 1-minute walk from Kane Midori. It seems to be a hit with local guides that are in the area, some Japanese comfort food at a price less than a lot of the surrounding areas, without lacking the quality. The ami rice, the yakitori bowls, the katsudon, pork and chicken cutlet meals have tons, just everything has tons of positive reviews, ranging in price from 1,000 to 2,000 yen per person. It's going to make you feel like you're visiting your very own Japanese grandmother, because it is a grandmother who runs this establishment by herself or sometimes with the help of one other person. So arrive early before opening, go on in, enjoy it. Don't expect for the hours to always be followed, because when she gets tired, she shuts down. You can do what you want to do. You're a grown adult. So just get there early, enjoy the food, expect to wait. Anywhere from 40 minutes to an hour to get your food. Again, it's made by her, it's brought out by her, everything is done by her. So just come with some patience and an empty stomach with cash and enjoy your time. One other dining option besides that, let me just pull up our Torihiko real quick just to show you with it. Here we go. Share this tab. So I want to show you before we head on our meals and things like that. So good. There's the ami rice. Just enjoy your time. Okay. For us, for what we have is going to be the Crimson Restaurant Kusatsu, which is going to give you something unique. One reason that I kind of bookmark this is you don't find a lot of places always that are wheelchair accessible, but this one is. So a plus. And curries and naans and rices and meals and, you know, just so many different things that you can look at for our time that's there. What makes it stand out to me, besides a relatively nice walk, it's an 18-minute walk, 3-minute drive, meals being around 1,000 to 2,000 yen per person. Again, nice pricing. Service times, again, going to be running a bit long, but your quality of meal, so many times in mentions and reviews, are rivaling what you would expect at like a super nice restaurant, even in Tokyo. There is an English menu. Some of the staff can even speak English. I know I'd be looking to enjoy the curry, the naan, the rice meals. You can even order takeaway online, bring it back to your own lodging. One of my favorite meals I've ever had is tandoori chicken. It was near the Tokyo Dome when I went back for my Fulbright time. And I've since that time just keep on trying to find it, a meal that's as good as that one. So I'm going to give this one a go and see how it is. The hours are from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. and 5 p.m. to 9:30. They can be closed on holidays or have varying hours. So look at that. From there, we're going to be going to Yubatake, and you know, let's share this one as well. It is man-made. Okay, there's a 70,000 photos, so you know it's a popular area. And what it is, it's open 24 hours a day. It's a man-made collection of pools and foot baths and water that you usually find at an onsen. I'd recommend going at night, less people and just really cool views. You can even take advantage of the 7-Eleven that is nearby. There are many restaurants and souvenir shops around there. Exploring them, you might find some steam buns, some local specialties, some hot spring eggs that are 100 yen each. Again, less people, kind of unique, this whole experience. This onsen town really sets itself apart from others. Our final add-on recommendation is a fishing pond. And that fishing pond, you're like, Mike, a fishing pond? And let me just share this with you. It may not be for everyone, okay? And I get that. So, but it is something that if it is for you, I just wanted to share this tab as well. One of the things that I've enjoyed doing in the past, I'm fortunate to do, is I've been able to fish in a lot of different locations worldwide. And a lot of time, what we do when I go with my dad and my son, it's all catch and release, right? It's to catch it. They're with circle hooks to try to not harm the fish as much as they can, and you let them go. And it's not been something I've been able to do in Japan because I'm not bringing a pole with me, halfway around the world. If I did catch them, I wouldn't have a way to prepare them if I wanted to eat them. So, what are you going to do? So it's been something that I've kind of looked for different ways, but this location in particular, this fishing pond, in summer is going to provide you a nice break in temperature, and they are going to provide you with the ability to rent fishing poles and equipment. And then if you do catch fish, they're going to prepare them and cook them for you or fillet them and have them so you could take them with you. If you happen to live nearby or camping, want to bring it to you to cook later. 3 fish and 1 rod is going to be around 3,000 yen. 2 rods and a total of 5 fish is going to be around 4,500. If you exceed, like you're super lucky and catch a bunch of fish, it's 900 yen per more. If you catch a fish, you can't put it back. So like if you catch one and it's small, it's still going to count as one of those fish, right? So it stops people from catching something and putting back in until they get what they want. Okay. If you've never fished with a circle hook before, it's not like a J hook that has the barb that hurts the fish. Like you pull up real quick and it's just caught. They do go off. So now there is a learning curve with it. Watch others. Like I said, if you caught 3 fish and you spent 3,000 yen, that's a meal for 1,000 yen each. They also serve soba for those of you that don't want fish, but it may be fish broth. Who knows, in that regard. So, it may not be for everybody, but come prepared with that translation app. No reviews mention anyone that is English speaking, no English signs, so on. So just be prepared to, do the best you can. Work your way through it. Be polite. Use that minimal Japanese. Say your name. So now, but before we return our lodging for the night, it's time to discuss some final dining options. And one of them, the second one I'm going to give, is for people that have food allergies, severe food allergies, and want an option to where they can kind of relax a bit that night. And another that is going to be closer, we'll start with the closer first. It's going to be a unique dish. It's called Garden Cafe. And let me share that tab with you. And they have a kind of a unique set of meals, and in particular, some noodles and things we'll talk about here in just one moment. So it's a 15-minute walk from our lodging, a 4-minute drive. They have creamy tantamen ramen, which is made with ramen noodles and a spicy, nutty sesame broth with pork. That's their specialty. It's open at 3 different times, once for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So check those on Google, as the hours that were listed said were incorrect. So I'm just going to recommend go check it. See it. They're open 3 times a day. You can make reservations ahead of time through a site called Ready, even without having to sign up for its service. Going to the site will also give you a glimpse of the menu beforehand. The location is also more used to foreign visitors. They even have some English-speaking staff in the past, some Chinese-speaking staff, some Hindi-speaking staff. So again, making a reservation ahead of time is going to be the best option, as if it's a busier time, you're either going to have to wait in a queue, or you may not be able to sit down and eat there at all. Next up is our last dining option. And this is one if you want to go all out, like all out. You're going to be probably more than 10,000 yen a person, more than $100 per person. But there's a lot that comes with that. Let me share that tab. First off is just like your presentation, the meal, the venue, everything that's there. Part of what you're getting from this experience is something that kind of places out. Like I said, it's elegant. They do have staff members that are fluent in English. They're going to provide you great customer service. And depending on what you order, your meal could consist of a bunch of little plates to have that meal that you would expect, that Thanksgiving style meal, that large meal that you would normally have at a ryokan. It can be difficult in such a heavily visited area to find a place that's not filled with tourists. And this is one of them. It's not going to be filled with a ton of tourists. Hot pot is a top of the wish list if I was able to make it there. But they are very, very aware of cross-contamination when it's due to allergies, and take that to the umpteenth degree. So if you say you have allergies to things here, they're probably going to already have that in effect for you without you knowing it. But again, they will go through. And if you're staying at Shigakogen, which we've talked about past in the show for ski resort, you can take a free shuttle to this location if you visit in winter or any time of the year. With that, we're going to end today's day trip and resume our adventure with our next regularly scheduled episode in 2 weeks. We're going to talk to past friend of the show. I get caught up, find out what's happening, because last time we talked, it was prior to Japan opening back up. So let's see we'll find out what's going on with him, what services have changed or not, but just something to look forward to. If you enjoyed today's show, please just take the time to give a follow, a like, or comment on your favorite streaming service. For updates, follow me on Instagram at Lost Without Japan. And if you really want to go above and beyond, join the show's Patreon at links in the show notes, and join the others who continue to donate to help save toward microphones that I'd love to use one day to record sounds of Japan and share them with you. For our song of the show, to take us out today, if you're on podcast land, it's going to be the band from Kusatsu Overworld performing Bittersweet from their studio session. And I will have that coming up next. If you're on video, click the link. I don't want it pulled from YouTube. On behalf of Lost Without Japan and the entire crew, I want to thank you for joining us on this trip. We look forward to seeing you on board again in 2 weeks for our next episode. To everyone out there, oh, Genki Day. Stay well, my friends.